Here. Love this part. That's a banger. I mean, it's a banger. They don't make free songs like that every day. What's up, chat? Here. Happy Friday. Man, only three stream week this week. And this is the third one. So, what a week. What a night last night. Football back. Weird slate on DraftKings. Started a little early. Caught one extra game versus the Fanduel main slate. Hopefully you guys were able to get on the right side of that. Pitching was pretty light last night. So it was a weird one. I was more focused on football last night, but did alright. What's up, chat? What up, ACP? You're Sean, won 50K on August MLB, then lost 50K. Yo, baseball is streaky, man, especially for mass entry tournament players. But that's the variance that you understand as a mass entry tournament player. Bob McIntyre, what's up, dude? Won 650 on golf Sunday, lost 125 on baseball. It just be like that. Chat, what kind of players are you guys? Like, honestly, are you guys 20 entry maxes? Are you guys 50, 150? Are you guys single entries, cash game players? Whenever I speak on games, I tend to come at it with a mass entry approach because that's my approach. But I am curious to see what you guys are to make sure I'm kind of checked in. What's up, Jonathan Adams? Sean V, Mia Moore, you're Matt Giles. Is it Giles? What's up, Matt? Why do I feel like I've seen that name before? Matt, do you have a YouTube channel? Am I tripping? Did I miss anybody? If I missed anybody, my bad. Single entry. Okay, so single entry, you guys will feel the swings a lot. And in my experience as when I do play single entries, it really comes down to, does a slate have good pitching or not? If I have to take guesses at pitcher, the results become even more volatile. But if you give me those slates with the no-brainer, Garrett Cole's against the Angels, stuff like that, then it's gonna be a good night. But if you have slates that Eduardo Rodriguez might be your best option, well, you just never know, you know? No? Alright, cool. Single entry until you do. Oh, man. How you guys doing? You guys enjoy football last night? What a game. It was a fun game back. Hopefully a good omen on the quality of play we might get throughout the season. I see Antonio Brown got to trending because he said Bowman University. And then I was thinking, if I had a little NBC clip, it'd be like, Gundacker, left tackle, rundfs.com, university, and nobody would have got it. So I'm just gonna keep that to myself, and it just didn't happen. Chat, rundfs.com, VIP memberships are live. Get up there. If you are a former VIPer and you're like, I can't remember my password, gun, I quit. Well, that's because you probably need to make a new account, brand new database, all that good stuff. Go to rundfs.com, get you signed up. Use promo code Brady. Check this out. Let's say I want to go grab me a week pass. I'm like, gun, $30. Is that the best you could do? Well, if my name is Sam Hilliard, Rockies great. I go type in coupon code Brady, BRADY, and bam, that $30 just became $24, 20% off. So that's gonna be today only. That'll get you locked in for the weekend of NFL coverage, and of course the weekend of baseball. We'll do baseball today, tomorrow, and then probably no baseball coverage Sunday because of NFL. You might be able to talk me into like updating the spreadsheet, but NFL's got to be the priority on Sundays from now on. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'd love to have you guys. When you guys do get signed up, click VIP portal. There's going to be a couple links: baseball spreadsheet, NFL spreadsheet, and of course the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. Matt says, I play single entry 3 max, and I'll chuck singles into 20 maxes too. Okay, so yeah, if you're only running like one lineup or a couple lineups even, yeah, you're gonna experience streaks a little bit harder. At least if you're a mass entry guy or like a 20 whatever, your cold streaks feel a little bit more like break even streaks for the most part. But you definitely will feel the variance in baseball by being a one lineup guy. And that's not a bad thing. That's just the way it is, right? So as long as you are understanding that, you're prepared for that, then it be like that. But that's baseball in real life too, right? Hitters go through cold streaks. Teams go through cold streaks. I mean, I can name a team going through one right now. All 3 of my teams. Oh my god, my old lady. She's going through it, yo. What up, Kay Johnson? Who's pitching against the dang Yankees? I have Tyler Megill right now, but a couple of these pitching guys I have jotted down might be subject to change. What up, Tone Loke? Where's Sean V at? He was up in the stream earlier talking about how the Reds suck versus lefties again. Uh-oh. Were they against a lefty on like the early slate? Let's see. Reds. Was there an early slate today? Or are you just mean in general today, the Reds? Let's see. Reds against Sean Lester. Oh my god. Yeah, that's where the that's where the rubber meets the road on that take, right? I wish Bellinger's cold streak would end. Oh no. Jace put the don't let Raj hear this, right? Because me and Raj got this little thing going on. But Blue Jays are a problem. American League fans, Blue Jays are a problem. They got starting pitching that will give you a chance to win every day. Yankees just got swept 4 games, and they didn't see Robbie Ray. Onion Rue, he'll give you a chance to win. Alek Manoah, a chance to win. Then the bullpen arms get bolstered. The return of Nate Pearson and what's his name? Julian Merriweather? I think it's Merriweather. That guy's a beast too. They're coming. They're probably going to take that American League wild card spot. Right now, no, but one of the Red Sox or the Yankees are going to fall back. Chris Sale just got popped positive for the old Rona. Add him to the long list of Red Sox guys. And the Yankees are playing without life. Yankees are playing without really any pitching. Their best pitcher, Jonathan Loáisiga, down. If they fall back, they fall back. But I don't know that the Blue Jays can be stopped right now. Right? Think about the position they're in right now. Having to play 3 different home parks. Season basically without George Springer. Without some of their best bullpen pieces. They're coming together at the right time. They're a problem. They're scary. So look out for them. I don't want to face them. But is what it is, man. Don't let Raj. Then if Raj shows up, I never said that. But they're a problem. Other day he was on your stream debating how bad the Reds are versus lefties. They did good. He was on the Awesome stream this morning talking about that same noise. Old Sean V. Never changed. I think they win the World Series this year, and I'm a Yankee fan. You think the Blue Jays win the World Series or the Yankees do? Houston, we got a problem. It's Toronto. Toronto's a problem. Yankees have a problem. Yankees have very few bullpen pieces to trust, and starting pitching is a big question mark. But it was a question mark to begin the season. And then you even look at that winning streak, that 13-game winning streak the Yankees went on. There's a lot of one-run games. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't really bopping teams. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm definitely not giving up hope, but Yankees are in there's a problem. There's a problem. Joey Gallo needs to hit the baseball. Just needs to happen. Andrew Heaney doesn't need to be wearing pinstripes anymore. Andrew Heaney is like J Happ with Sonny Gray's mental. Remember when Sonny Gray was a Yankee? Like, you knew he was good somehow, somewhere, but it just out there on the slab in the boogie down Bronx, it wasn't happening. And the same with Andrew Heaney. And yesterday, if Heaney doesn't give up those runs, and then Voit and Gary give you those bombs in the ninth inning, it's just all bad. It's all bad. What are you gonna do? I guarantee it turns around tonight. Bob, I'm gonna hold you to that tonight against the Mets. I mean, this is borderline playoff baseball for both the Mets and the Yankees. They're both in very similar situations. Yankees need to win to hang on to that wild card spot. The Mets need to win because they're in a race for the National League East, man. The Phillies, the Braves, and the Mets. Sloppy baseball all the way around, but they're all kind of still in it. So what are you going to do? What's up, Aiden Jones? How is Andrew Heaney still playing for y'all? I think the main reason is, one, Jonathan Loaizaga is hurt, and two, Aroldis Chapman's a bum. And we've had to, this is like a 20 game in a row stretch, and with those bullpen guys being taxed the way they are, with Garrett Cole going down and needing to one less arm, with Jameson Taillon, he went on the IL, so it's like it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards, right? So I think that's how. But yeah, you just feel like there's got to be someone better somewhere in this system for the Yankees than Andrew Heaney. AAA, it's got to have somebody. It just has to. What are you gonna do? Chat, shall we talk some baseball, man? We talk some baseball. We got a lot of games to cover tonight. So let's hunker down. Let's get the old RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet going. This stream brought to you, as always, by PrizePicks.com. We'll talk a little bit more about them later, but just know that if you want to know what my favorite pick is this weekend, it's this one. Patrick Mahomes to throw over half a yard. You're not going to find advice like that anywhere else, okay? Gundacker saying Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for over a yard. So go lock that in there, man. If you're going to put some tickets together, even today, right? Even if you're playing some pitching props today, have a little bit of patience, man. If you think that Robbie Ray's going to get 9 strikeouts, put him in there, and then you could still attach that to the Robbie Ray over half a yard passing for this weekend. So no reason not to just anchor that with everything you do. Yeah, and that's a really cool promotion that they are doing. So go check that out. Go put that up on all your stuff. If you use promo code Gundacker when you sign up, you'll get up to $100 matched your first deposit. If you sign up, you throw a $20 bill at it. Now you got $40, and you can bet on Patrick Mahomes throwing a yard. Good times. Yanks are down bad. It's not what you want. It's not what you want. Anyway, we have probably our last big hurrah for baseball, right? After today, we got college football tomorrow that might water down some pools. We got Sunday football that might water down some pools. I think there's is there a fantasy baseball world championship tonight? So, shout out to everyone that's in that. If anybody here is in that, good luck. But we'll be tracking that. I think it's a fun slate to watch that on. But let's get cranked up. Let's get into the action here. We're going to go game by game here, try to research everything we can, pitching matchups, hitting matchups. If you guys have already done a little bit of research, you have some picks, some guys that you're digging, some guys you want an extra opinion on, drop them in chat as we go, and we'll just get it done, man. Here we go. Game number 1. The aforementioned Toronto Blue Jays at the Baltimore Orioles. After sweeping the Yankees, they're able to say, hey, Robbie Ray, you want to pitch today? He catches Chris Ellis in the Orioles offense. Blue Jays have a 6.1 implied run total. The Orioles 3.5. Cover boy Robbie Ray has been on a tear, and I've even flirted with the idea of him being a Cy Young dark horse if Garrett Cole was seriously injured. He is leading the American League in innings pitched, has an 11 plus K per nine, and is just on a different stretch right now. Just absolutely disgusting. 10 strikeouts or more in 4 games straight, including a game at home against the Baltimore Orioles. Take him out of his element here a little bit here, putting him in Camden Yards at 10.7K. That is a tall glass of water to sip on. However, 13-game slate, there's going to be plenty of underpriced bats to kind of make it work if you do believe in him as one of the highest floor, highest ceiling guys. He still has a propensity to allow the long ball, 1.4 home run per 9. I'd be looking at Mountcastle, Austin Hayes, Trey Mancini as the main problems to maybe take advantage of that. But for the most part, it's hard to not project Robbie Ray as a guy I want to get a decent chunk of and wash off the taste of a pitching slate like the last 2 days. So Robbie Ray is in the mix for me today. I'm very curious to see where the field gets at on this price point for Robbie. But like I said, it's not going to be that hard to fit him in lineups comfortably because of how many options are on this slate and how many times we can get into a 2K, 3K or less bat. So definitely one of my favorite pitchers so far. The Blue Jays offense should project extremely well. A lot of 5K pluses price points, so they're not going to be super easy to stack, especially if you do like Robbie Ray. So maybe keep that in mind. But George Springer, 53. Marcus Semien, 56. Vladdy Jr., 59, Bo Bichette, 54, and Teoscar, 5K. It's not like a freebie stack here, so kudos to DraftKings for making you think about the merits in a Robbie Ray versus Blue Jay stack, because it's unlikely that you're going to have 5 Blue Jays, at least the main 5, right? Maybe you get a little crazy and get the bottom of the order guys, but yeah, nothing against the Blue Jays here. They line up extremely well against Chris Ellis and then the Orioles bullpen. Ellis so far just 16 innings of sample size, has been hurting a little bit more towards lefties and righties, but that's results only. The metrics, the batted ball data say that the punishment from righties is still on the way. A 31% line drive rate to righties so far, 45% fly ball rate, and just a 19% K rate. So these pristine, crisp, lime green zeros, they're not going to last very long. So do like some Blue Jays here. Like I said, if I wanted to pick on Robbie Ray, it's probably just a couple of errant one-off guys that might send one over the wall, but I'm not going to be overly aggressive or confident. But Austin Hayes, Mancini, Mountcastle are the main 3 I would get behind, right? See what you guys got on chat. I think this one's a really simple one on the surface, right? Okay, dang, lazy mofo. Mahomes fumbles first play of the game, then leaves the game for false okay, buddy. Ooh, boy, sneeze came up out of nowhere. Ray peak game should be. I think one correlate. I don't want to say correlation, but one thing that Ray had going this last 4 games was that he was at home, right? On the season, on the road, he's averaging 1 less fantasy points, so I'm not overthinking that. But there was one bad game against Baltimore earlier this season where it didn't go as great, but he's just like locked in, new level. I'm on a new level. What? So I'm not really overthinking the splits or anything like that for Robbie. He's just on one right now. Temperatures out there in Baltimore, 70 degrees too. So we're getting somewhat past the dog days of summer. I noticed that yesterday. I had to turn the air conditioner off a couple times, and I haven't had that luxury in what feels like months. K Johnson, my number one rule is hard to keep right now. Robbie Ray's too good. Okay, so you don't like to pay for the highest price pitcher. I get it. Chris Ellis, shut your Yanks down with ease. Sean, it's too early for me to have to break you off, okay? Just look at this XFIP right here. 5.2 XFIP to lefties, 5 XFIP to righties. Your definition of shutdown and my definition of shutdown is not the same. It's not the same. Ray is due for a floor game. Well, what's Robbie Ray's floor? Because if 20 plus is his floor, right? 25. It probably still gives you a chip in a chair. This isn't like NBA where if an 11K pitcher get you 4x versus 5-6x, like you're still in there, right? 20 plus is still going to give you probably a top 5 raw point total from a pitcher. So if that's his floor, I'm taking it, and that's the safety and the beauty of baseball. The only pushback I would have on Robbie Ray is if his ownership got too crazy. But as far as floor versus ceiling and distribution of fantasy points, that's not really an argument against Robbie Ray, unless you think his floor is like -5, like the Erod floor, right? Let's move on to the next game here. Rockies at the Phillies. We got German Marquez taking on, I guess Sam Coonrod's what I got right now. I don't know if is that what DK has? Me a piece of your heart. They got Bailey Falter. And he's, so it looks like no matter what, we should project this to be a bullpen game for the Phillies. So I'm not going to overanalyze the Phillies pitching situation, but German Marquez, can we talk about him? First of all, decent price discrepancy from Fanduel to DraftKings, 9,100 on Fanduel, 6,800 on DraftKings. Marquez has not been elite in his last couple of games consistently, right? We can go back to that Cubs game, -1, Texas game 4, and Atlanta 13.7. So what we do know about Marquez is in the last couple of years, he's been really, really good. And especially when you take him out of Coors Field, he's been pretty solid. This year, overall, out of Coors Field, a 3.56 xFIP, a 25% K rate, 270 average allowed, 1.5 home run per 9 allowed. Like, that's not what you want. But I do think at 6,800, like, we can't be too rear view stuck, right? We got to understand what his upside is and what his propensity is at this price point. And I feel like I'm not gonna not have some Marquez in the mix because he is a good pitcher, and I gotta believe over 50% of the time he puts up a decent number at 6,800, right? I don't feel like I'm making a decision on a near 9K guy. I think it's 68. I do think the risk reward is still high enough. I think the major pushback here is his numbers do depreciate against lefties, a 19.3% K rate to lefties. Maybe we pull up his Fangraphs card to see if that number does increase on the road in terms of just straight up splitting it versus the Coors Field versus lefties. So we'll pull up Fangraphs.com, German Marquez, check off splits, and then we'll go away versus lefties. And we'll look at this. So away versus lefties, he has a 7.67 K per 9, and home versus lefties is 7.69. So it's basically the same. So maybe the number against lefties strikeout wise makes us a little bit more skeptical. Guys like Bryce Harper, Didi Gregorius, Brad Miller, stuff like that. There's enough pushback where I don't think that the price is saying, hey, this is an obvious play. But at 6,800, I don't see how German Marquez doesn't make my player pool. It's just been years of really, really rock solid, especially on the road. So give me some Marquez. Doesn't look like we're going to have a playable Phillies pitcher. So if we're getting to the Rockies bats, we're basically just stacking or betting on the guys we think are talented. Charlie Blackmon's finding himself a rare leadoff opportunity today, 5K. For him, everyone else on his team is under 5K, 3,400 on FanDuel. So no matter who he gets, I guess it is a plus spot in Citizens Bank Park for him to have the maximum amount of at-bats and opportunities. 5K on DraftKings, that feels like a coin that will get you a shot at one of those Blue Jays bats. So it's one of those, how much do we like Charlie Blackmon here? And there's really not, so even if it is Bailey Falter, we'll just type his name in lower cases. That is what it is. Who is not... Falter has been pretty solid against lefties. High line drive rate, though. Not a ton of sample size. If we're playing Rockies, we're just betting on talent. And if we're playing Phillies, the Phillies have an implied run total of 4.6. They are favorited in this game against the Rockies. If we're playing Phillies, I think you're playing the guys you really, really think can go up there and get you one. Bryce Harper's 5,800. I mean, he's tearing the cover off the ball right now. But yeah, that's a price point that would contribute to an aforementioned Blue Jay stack or maybe some of the stacks coming up. So you'd have to really like Bryce Harper to put that penny on him. So I'm curious to see where the field lands there. But I'm really curious to see where the DraftKings field lands on Germán Marquez, because I do think that price point gives you an opportunity for some value, because I do think he's better than a $6,800 pitcher more often than he's not, right? His floor is still cash game viable. Stanley makes some GPP darling. Chef's kiss. Daily dose of Sean V and Gunn. There's more to come. I'm sure Sean will say something crazy. I trust Sean V more than Osmo. Honestly, all they do is try to throw you off actually good. Wait, don't I count as an Osmo guy? Don't I fall into that? Also, I don't think they try to put you off of actual picks. I think if you guys understand the spirit of the content for most of the baseball shows we do at Osmo, it's really trying to put you on the good leverage picks, and that's the tournament specialties, right? Really sharp takes about. First of all, their ownership projections are just insanely accurate, and then in baseball, if you can use those ownership projections and parlay that with the failure rate of baseball, those pivots and going the other way, that'll help you jump the line. You guys that are talking about your single entry cold streaks the last couple days, you see why. Like, sometimes the plays that are supposed to play out and be great aren't quite that. So I don't know. I think you have to consume the content with the right approach to say. I don't know. Hate the park, especially versus a guy like Blackburn who keeps the ball. All right, not me. That's fine. I don't know. That's the style. Let's move on to the next game here. Brewers at the Indians. We got Eli Morgan on the bump for Cleveland up against Adrian Hauser. Brewers have a 4.9 implied run total. Indians 4.2. I don't have confirmed lineups from either side yet, so let's just talk about the matchup. The matchup is Hauser, who has a 4.72 xFIP against lefties, just a 16% K rate, 269 average allowed. Last year he had an over 2 home run per line allowed to lefties. This year that's come down to 0.72. I will say the batted ball data was very similar to what he put up last year, and I feel like that data, that result, the 2+ home run per 9, is really not consistent long term with the 51% ground ball rate, 27% hard contact rate. So this year feels a little bit more where it should be. But I guess the fact that he is a contact pitcher, maybe he was just getting kind of unlucky with hanging a couple here and there. But Hauser, low K guy to lefties, but doesn't give up a lot of power. Eli Morgan, strikeouts, righties at a decent clip, 1-4, 21% K rate to lefties, but an elevated xFIP to both sides of the plate. Elevated home run per 9 to both sides of the plate. So I'd kind of be home run hunting here, looking at these run totals. So if I wanted to pick on Eli Morgan, I guess who lines up the best in the bomb detector? We got Eduardo Escobar with a 4.21 rating on the bomb detector, which is probably one of the higher ratings that we'll be working with today. So just out of curiosity, let's sort it in the context of sample size bomb ratings. How high is Eduardo Escobar? Looks like he does make the top 10, but if you put a grain of salt on the sample size, yeah, he's top 10 at best. And then I want to use a tool that we don't really give enough credit to, but the pitch report, something that you guys can use in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet. So if Escobar lines up well in the bomb detector, and I don't love the sample size of innings, one of the things I can do is cross-reference Escobar's pitch report grades versus Eli Morgan's pitch report grades. So Eli Morgan's main 3 pitches are fastball, slider, or changeup. So I'd be looking to see what Escobar does against those pitches. Escobar is not graded extremely well against the slider, but he's above average against the fastball and slightly above average against the changeup. So you can kind of play in with the batted ball data. Nothing there to really break a tiebreaker, but yeah, okay, you can give me some Escobar because of the splits here. And then also maybe some Omar Narvaez. He might profile as a little bit better of a Fanduel play at 2,400. Yeah, I feel like I'm just more cherry picking here. Hauser, on the other hand, if this Indians lineup comes out pretty split, actually it just came out while I was talking. Shout out to the Indians, Terry Francona he watches the show. Miles Straw, Ahmed Rosario, Jose Ramirez, Franmil Reyes, Bobby Bradley, Yu Chang. Ever since football came back, you changed, bro. Bradley Zimmer, Ryan Lavarnway, former World Baseball Classic great, and Andre Jimenez. So that is our official Indians lineup. So that'll help us navigate a decision a little bit more for what to do with Hauser. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 lefties, 5 righties. So we can dig into just a high ground ball rate for Adrian Hauser, right? 7,900, a strikeout here and there. I'm kind of at an impasse, right? I don't feel like Hauser's giving me must-play potential, but I also feel like his ground ball rate, his hard contact rate's kind of keeping opponents at bay. He just went 9 rounds against the Indians, 41 fantasy points, 7 strikeouts, so that's kind of like the best case scenario for him being a contact guy, but it does give us at least a vote of confidence that we can get to 100 pitches. But I'll put him at 90 to 100 pitches, and at 90 to 100 pitches, I do think 5-6 innings is a range of outcome. I'd be really hoping and wishing for a 20 bomb and less than 2, maybe 2 earnings with less than a strikeout per inning. But yeah, I guess K factor. Let's put 90 pitches on the K factor now that we have a confirmed lineup, and I get 5.45 strikeouts and 90 pitches. It's just, it's unremarkable. So yeah, this game just probably exists, and I'll be cherry picking bats. I'm not really committed to the full stack. What say you guys? I don't like how they present players first, sell them, then give ownership just because they are low and doesn't automatically make them great play. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand. Like, there's different styles of content, like, and that's on both sides, right? For me, as a layer of transparency, like, I know that the most efficient way to play DFS, really in every sport, you almost don't even need to watch sports with the projections that are out there. But the most efficient way to play DFS is, what's the projection? What's the ownership projected for that player? What's pivots, right? And that's it. You just show up, you look at all that, and you play. But it really, it just leapfrogs the fun of it, I guess. And that's kind of where I'm still stubborn. Like, I still like the sport. I still like to break down the games. I still like to understand what's important, the narratives, whatever. And that's the entertainment part. So I do think there's a like an elitist crowd that's starting to point and laugh at people that do like it, to actually research the games. But I'm a sucker, man. I love sports. So with that in mind, like, yeah, there's people that present content that kind of have that approach, and there's people that consume content that have that approach. So to a lot of people, content like this channel ain't for them, but there's a lot of people that just enjoy the ride. So that's just kind of where I'm at. But I understand and appreciate everyone's approach or style. There's no reason to dog or hate at it, point and laugh, or just enjoy it. I tend to enjoy it. Same with basketball, right? Basketball gets a little crazy on this channel. It's a lot of me and Raj yelling at each other, but it's just having fun. What are you gonna do? Aiden says Hauser probably goes 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, no runs. That saves cash game viable at SB2. At the end of the video, can you give me your favorite 2 pitches and favorite 3 bats? I can. I would just ask you to remind me, because I have a bad memory on stuff like that. Hey, that Brewers lineup came out, so we could get that typed in before we move on. Colton Wong, Eduardo Escobar batting second, so we already kind of have our eye on him. Getting 5 or 6 implied at bats here. Christian Yelich. Guys, I have got to get a new monitor. I'm breaking my neck trying to grab these lineups. Avi Garcia batting cleanup. Omar's batting 5th. Daniel Vogelbach in the lineup batting 6th. He's 2K on DraftKings to dig into those Eli Morgan lefty splits. So if you're looking for a couple of hot shots to get you to Robbie Ray, Daniel Vogelbach has entered the chat. And then Lorenzo Cain batting 9th. So another note here: the Brewers do pick up that DH spot, which is why Vogie does catch the lineup. Let's move on to the next game. Mets hosting the Yankees. Jordan Montgomery taking on Tyler Megill. Yankees have an implied run total of just for the Mets, 3.6, 72 degrees out there in Citi Field. Yankees will be without the DH spot. They are desperately needing a win. So is this one of those spots where they put out that goal line jumbo package, Judge, Gallo, Stanton in the outfield? I feel like that would be my approach. Or I'd even bench Gallo for Gardner and let Stanton play out there. So we'll see. We've seen Aaron Boone play under NL rules a couple times this season, and he gets pretty creative. He will double switch guys in and out. So keep that in mind if you do have a hankering for some Yankees bats. Pitching matchup wise, 9.4K for Jordan Montgomery. He's going to catch a Mets team trying to get right at the right time, competing for that NL East. Jonathan VR has been a pretty good leadoff guy for them. Has actually outperformed Francisco Lindor. Pete Alonso's got a couple bombs in the last week. Javi Baez, his split against lefties is easily his best split. And then Kevin Pillar projected to be in this lineup as well. There are some Mets that would be making my lineup if I wanted to get to them as a stack. I think this game feels a little bit more pitcher friendly than hitter friendly. Meaning I think Megill and Montgomery have a chance to throw some hard to score against innings. So I'm looking at them first. I think Megill at 8,100. Let's see how his pitch count's been lately, but he does have the metrics for K rates here against this Yankees team. 90, 80, 70 plus pitches his last three outings. 19, 18. There is a -2 there, but do you think 18 is a reasonable range of outcome here? Because I think it is. I think 30.5% K rate against righties. He's going to catch the pitcher spot at least twice, maybe 3 times, needing to get the most out of Jordan Montgomery. Just a 20% carry to lefties. Gardner, Rizzo. If it's Gallo, Gallo, he'll spot you a strikeout here and there, but if he does catch a pretty righty-dominant lineup in this Yankees on this Yankees team today, yeah, I think Megill at 8,100 would definitely be in play, and the Yankees still carry that hard to trust pitching against them type of aura, but I think 8,100, the risk reward for Megill is just fine. 9,400 for Montgomery. I do feel like I'm overpaying here, but I don't want him not in my player pool, so I think I would tier 3 him. I do think the range of outcomes for him to go 5 or 6 innings and just put up a decent game is there. I'm looking for 20 plus. I don't think that's a common range of outcomes, so it'd probably be a cap at 10% type of play. But he would be there. It's not somebody that I expect to get blown up. So I'll have more Megill than Montgomery, but I'll be more pitcher intense here. I'll probably have just the bias Yankee stacks, just like I always do, just because I'm that dude. But the Mets side here. Are the Mets stackable? If Montgomery faltered, this bullpen is in shambles, so you might get even more lefties come out the bullpen. If we look at the bullpen usage for the Yankees, like yesterday, I don't think Andrew Heaney will hit the field today unless it's a 5-run game one way or the other. But yesterday they needed to protect Lucas Licky. Maybe he would be available today. Wandy Peralta threw 40 pitches, so he wouldn't come out. Joely Rodriguez might be available. Boone usually doesn't like to go guys if they've pitched 3 or 4 games, but he's only got 24 pitches in those 2 days in a row that he pitched. So you might see Joely Rodriguez, Lucas Licky, maybe some Clay Holmes. If it's a close game, you do probably see Chad Green, Albert Abreu. And then Sal Romano threw 20 bullets yesterday. So I really think the Yankees want 6+ innings out of Montgomery, because this is a tax bullpen. But yeah, give me more Megill than Monty. Get caught up here. Jonathan Adams, love me some Anderson and Megill. Is that Ian Anderson? How did he get tickets to the game? Guys, Bang is so good. Let's move on. Next game, Tampa Bay Rays, Detroit Tigers. Tigers lineup is out. Rays lineup was already out. Akil Baddoo, Jonathan Scope, Robbie Grossman, Miggy, Jamer Candelario, Eric Haas, Nico Goodrum. Willie Castro, and Derek Hill. That is our confirmed Tigers lineup. Matt Boyd on the bump for the Tigers. The Rays have an implied run total of 5. Tigers 4.1. We are outdoors in Comerica, and it is 73 degrees. Oh, what a wonderful time. Michael Wacha on the bump for the Rays. So Wacha is a guy that does have a 1-4%, a 1-4 K rate against righties. But other than that, pretty unflattering stats. And I'd look at many teams against these splits here. First of all, on the road, he's allowed a 320 plus average to opposing hitters and a 2.25 home run per 9. You know, Tigers aren't a fun team to go out there and stack, but Wacha's been that bad. Like, I do think we can at least cherry pick homers if nothing else. A 174 homer per 9 to lefties, 197 to righties, and both of those probably go up outside of Tropicana. So, guys on the Tigers we might chase with those splits. Akil Baddoo against righties has a 243 ISO since the beginning of last year, 860 OPS. He'd be somebody I'd be curious with. I'm really looking to pick on righties with a little bit of pop. Wacha against righties, a 28% line drive rate, 47% hard contact rate. So a guy like Jonathan Scope, Miggy Cabrera will line up well, especially Eric Haas. Eric Haas has one of the highest ratings in the bomb detector, 447. A 15% barrel percentage when he's putting the ball in play. His bugaboo is he's got a 194 average and a 32% K rate. So Wacha can still get strikeouts against righties, but his metrics do suggest that maybe Haas has a better chance than usual to get into this righty. We go look at that pitch report. Wacha's going to throw fastball, cutter, changeup, and Haas so far has crushed the fastball, graded above average against the cutter, and has been bad against the changeup. So could go either way, but I do like Eric Haas as a maybe more so of a Fanduel value homer call for tournaments. 4,300 on DraftKings. I feel like I am paying an appropriate price point, but it is what it is. If I didn't know that the Rays could chop this game in half and get into a bullpen, like I'd be all about a Tiger stack. 4 implied run total feels a little bit light for a Michael Wacha start, but I'd be here and glad to cherry pick Tigers. I would be there to stack some Rays. I do think you take the Rays out of Tropicana and you look at what they've done. I don't know if it's quiet to the rest of the field or not, but the Rays have been dominating baseball since the All-Star break, and even when the Yankees went on that 13-game win streak, they never really caught any ground on the Rays because the Rays were just out there winning everything, and they're in a spot against Matthew Boyd to keep it going. A 5.12 xFIP to righties, and this is a lineup that's going to come out pretty righty dominant. Wander Franco has been unhuman against left-handed pitching. Nelson Cruz has been terrorizing lefties for years. So those are two guys that I could handcuff with relative confidence. And then around them are some cheaper options. Manuel Margot leading off. Not a bad bat to put in front of two guys that can drive him in, a 289 average. Maybe doesn't hit for the power that you would like, but getting on base in front of a Franco or Nelson Cruz gives you a better than usual chance to touch home plate. Jordan Luplos, another guy I would probably put in the mix. He's 2,200 on FanDuel, 3K on DraftKings. He's got an over 4 rating on the bomb detector. Him and Nelson Cruz grade the highest. So there are plenty of Rays bats I could put in the mix for me. Backing up Matt Boyd is a very below average Tigers bullpen. So this is really a good spot for the Rays offense. And maybe they get a little bit overlooked because of some of the more I guess glamorous spots. I think the Blue Jays will have a lot of us putting dollar signs in our pupils, and I think the Rays could be a problem. And we've seen the Rays be problems for arguably better lefties, Eduardo Rodriguez, Chris Sale, guys like that. So give me some Rays stacks. Give me a couple Tigers bats. I don't think I'm going to be on either pitcher at all. Like, I don't think I have any exposure to either one of these guys. What are you guys thinking on this one, if anything? And then we would move on. Oh, Tyler Alexander. Oh, excuse me. Well, that honestly, I don't know that changes much for me. But thanks for that. Thanks for that correction. Tyler Alexander actually makes it a better spot, right? Boyd might pitch out of the bullpen. Report just came out. Okay. So yeah, that actually does. It makes it better. And if Boyd came out the bullpen, just be more safety that Kevin Cash doesn't yank some of these righties, and he likes to double switch. So yeah, Alexander gives up even more home runs to righties, and I would expect Cruz's and Luplos' home run rating to have increased. So Cruz went to 4.33 and Luplos at 4.29. So looking at the bomb detector here, Cruz would be, if we resort it, Cruz would be third on the bomb detector, fourth on the bomb detector, and Jordan Luplo is top 10. So yeah, you can definitely sell me on some Rays stacks. We'll see if their run total goes up. Not that I was gonna be shy against Matt Boyd, but yeah, Tyler Alexander is a step backward. So good catch. No Zunino makes me sad. Aw. I can't get past the fact that Anderson couldn't get a single strikeout last two starts. I remember that Zach Greinke kind of had something like that earlier this season, and then he came out and said, F you, gun. Marlins at the Braves. We've got Trevor Rogers taking on Ian Anderson. We do have confirmed lineups for both teams here. Miguel Rojas, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Brian Dela Cruz, Jesus Sanchez, Jorge Alfaro. These are some names. Like, these are literally names. I've seen a lot of collections of names in my time, but this is definitely one of the collections that I've seen of names. Like, these are who are these people? Look at this. Oh my god, there's so much red. So that's our confirmed Marlins lineup. On the Braves side, we get Ozzie Albies, Jorge Soler, Freddie Freeman, Austin Riley, Adam Duval County, Travis d'Arnaud, Orlando Arcia is batting 7th. Guillermo Heredia batting 8th. The Braves have a 4.7 implied run total. Marlins 3.4. Ian Anderson, I think he's going to catch ownership, and why wouldn't he? Look at these strikeout rates for the Miami Marlins. Just Miguel Rojas has a sub 20% K rate, and I guess Lewin Diaz as well, but Lewin Diaz is going to offset it with a 155 batting average and a 503 OPS. Barrel rates all under 10%. So if Ian Anderson can't have a game of his life against this lineup, then he's just not going to have a game of his life against anybody. 6,600 on DraftKings. I'd be looking for 18 plus, 20 plus against this lineup seems realistic. Last two starts. So who said it? Sean said it. Can't get past that he didn't get a strikeout last two starts. Well, at Coors Field and then against probably the best team in baseball, at least I guess if we're looking at wins, the Giants. So those aren't like gimme matchups. At Miami, that's the one that would be glaring for me. -1 DKP in Miami Park. So that would be a problem. But past that, I think there's at least glimmers of hope. Maybe we spend a little bit of time to feel a little bit better about his performance in terms of game log. So whenever there's like 3 games in a row of recency bias to make me a little bit hesitant, there's a couple things we can do to maybe piece together some excuses or stuff to watch. First of all, we'll look at the plate discipline in the last 3 games. We want to focus on, at least I want to focus on, first pitch strikes, swing and strike percentage, velocity, and the pitch makeup that he was throwing. So last 3 games, 4.8% swing and strike rate, 7%, and then against this Miami team, a 17% swing and strike rate. So I'm not going to overthink Coors Field or the Giants, but the 17% swing and strike rate is pretty doggone elite. The first pitch strike rate, 58% against Colorado is what you want. 40% is kind of low. You really want to see 50% or better. Really would love 60%. So that's alarming. We hate to see that. We want to see him throw more strikes. And then we want to look at the pitch type that he's been leaning on. 64% fastball last game, which is, you're going to see pitchers throw fastballs a little bit more in Coors Field. Usually going to be a little bit over 40%. Curveball, 20% changeup. So nothing changed there in the velocity. I guess you could argue that there's been times where his velo's at 95 in the last couple games. Been 94, 93. Maybe that's something to watch. I'm not gonna overthink velocity. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's dipping a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's egregious. And then batted ball data. XFIP 10-1, 5-7, 7-6, 5-5. So 5 plus XFIP in 5 straight games. So there's definitely reason for concern, right? I wouldn't push back against some of you guys that don't feel warm and fuzzy here. I don't know that I feel warm and fuzzy, but just looking at this matchup that the Marlins are presenting, like the strikeout rates is just too good. The opportunity is too good for a $6,600 pitcher that has an 11+% swing and strike rate with an ability to get you at least a 1-5 strikeout potential. His expected ERA, Sierra, WHIP, all that stuff's elevated versus the results. So he's not as good as we would want him to be. But you can't not have some against this Marlins lineup, right? Like there's not many pitchers I wouldn't take a chance against these K rates. So yeah, Ian Anderson comes with some risk. We'll have to go ahead and concede that one. But my goodness, 27%, 26%, 30%, 33%, 45, 28, 60% K rates through this Marlins lineup. There's just too much of a range of outcome for Anderson to give you a 20 plus at 6.6K. So I'll be there on Ian Anderson. Now let's talk about Trevor Rogers, an above average lefty for the Marlins here. I do like the Braves against left-handed pitching just as a statement, but I think Trevor Rogers is at least a good pitcher. 3.83 Sierra, 3.45 expected ERA, a 1.15 WHIP, a 28% K rate. Rogers is good. Matchup is tough, so I'm more so analyzing this matchup in with the eyes of asking, do I want to stack Braves or not? I don't know that I force myself to pitch Trevor Rogers. I don't know that like the pitch count feels great, the matchup doesn't feel great, but is he going to get beat up enough to pay off a stack? 4 innings, 3 innings, 5 innings, 4 innings, 1 homer in the last 5 games. I just think he's a really solid pitcher. So maybe in my back pocket I put some Braves here, but the Marlins bullpen is above average. Trevor Rogers is a good starter, so this isn't as good of a spot for the Braves that they've had the last couple games, and they're priced as the team that has been going off. Albies is at 5K, Freeman 5.6, Riley 5.8, Duvall and Soler, who I feel like are the most consistent guys for them hitting homers, being 42 and 39 in probably their more positive split against a lefty. That feels a little bit weird, I'm already an enemy of the algorithm, but I guess they're still cheap enough to cherry pick and include in the player pool and let the optimizer, Jesus English, put them where they might. But generally speaking, as a stack, I don't feel like this matchup is super great. I think Trevor Rogers into that bullpen is a tough spot, but Ian Anderson, man, I think that's the call. You guys gonna get some Ian Anderson? If so, how much? I feel like I would be brave here. I feel like I would allow myself to have up to 30% of him against this spot. It is such a good spot. I'm just kind of rolling the dice on the ceiling, right? Sean says, I'm not touching Chalk Anderson. It's course field, but still the Rockies. How do you not get 1K? I mean, that's fair. I'm not gonna spend too much time arguing that point. But I'm also not gonna overthink it. But it's more so like I don't know, man. The matchups. What up, Dan T? How we doing? All right, let's move on to the next game. We'll let that simmer. How much is too much, Anderson? You said he's chalk. I haven't looked at ownership projections yet, but I'll take your word for it. So, if he is aggressively owned, yeah, maybe I'd run it back a little bit. But the matchup is too pure, right? Let's move on to the next game. We got the Red Sox and the White Sox. There's a lot of Sox going on, and they're all colored. I guess White Sox wouldn't be colored, but whatever. Let's ignore that last 5 seconds. Tanner Houck taking on Carlos Rodon. 3.8 is our run total for the Red Sox. That's got to be the lowest run total I've seen for the Red Sox all year. Rodon and his offense of 4.8 implied run total. It is 75 degrees out there in Chi-Town. Red Sox still dealing with more and more COVID cases. Chris Sale got hit this morning. Our lineup looks pretty much as expected. I think Rodon at 10.3K creates a curious click. I do think at the 10K plus range, a lot of eyes going to go straight to Robbie Ray in a much better perceived matchup. Rodon has not really gone more than 5 innings since the Houston game. So there's really an easy case against him. Maybe that makes him a little bit more lucrative for tournaments. Hasn't got you 90-plus pitches. I don't think I'm getting a Carlos Rodon. I'm just not. Tanner Houck, 8,800 on DraftKings. 35% K rate to righty. So I will say if the White Sox put out a more righty-heavy lineup than a half and half, and even half and half, I can get 25% K rate at a Houck. I think I can get some Tanner Houck in my player pool. This is a White Sox team that has an understated strikeout rate. They will strike out. And depending on who is actually in this lineup, I could get to 8,800 Tanner Houck at like 15% and not feel the worst about it. 35% K rate to righties, 24.8% K rate to lefties. What a massive, for the Red Sox to be full-run dogs here, that just feels a little bit, I don't want to say wrong, but, I mean, these ain't no punks, right? Kike Hernandez, JD Martinez, Renfroe, Bobby Dalbec, Jose Iglesias hits for great average against lefties. Is this really more than a coin flip? I guess if I'm the line setter, I'm putting something a little bit more even. Rodon being as inconsistent as he's been lately, plenty of question marks. I don't know that I agree that the Red Sox run total should be A, this low, or B, this game should be this wide. I don't know. I guess Rodon hasn't been giving up a ton of runs, but I feel like this is not a flattering spot. I mean, look at his strength of schedule. Last couple, Pittsburgh, Chicago, KC. I don't know, man. I feel like the Red Sox deserve a little bit more credit than being a full-run dog here. But maybe we got some more news coming about this lineup. I don't know. I got a little bit closer than one pre-flop at least. But I don't think I'm there on Rodon. Right, the strikeout rates are not that high. Plenty of question marks coming back on his pitch count, on how long he'll go in general. White Sox as a team coasting to the playoffs, so any guys that they might be needing to wrap with some bubble wrap to get to the postseason, sure. I guess the bullpen's easily more on the White Sox side than the Red Sox side, so maybe that's where it's at. But yeah, you can give me a little bit of Tanner Houck. If I wanted to pick on Rodon, it's the obvious lefty mashers, the Kike Hernandez, JD Martinez, Hunter Renfroe, guys like that. No one on the Red Sox starting lineup has a 4+ rating on the bomb detector, the highest being Hunter Renfroe at 3.96. On the other side here, nobody with a 4+ rating on the White Sox side. So this game, I think, mostly just exists, right? Anyway. As a Braves fan, I'm staying hard away from Anderson, plus he's chalk, Jesus Sanchez. He's projected on your tool at 48% own. Alright, yeah, I know. If any pitcher on this slate gets to 50% own, the right move is usually to fade him long term. So I'm 100% okay with using that as the catalyst to not play him. I got no arguments against that. Matchup is so good, though. Jonathan says, I love me some Garcia and Grandal. Lurie Garcia and Yasmani Grandal. 5K for a catcher, man. That's always tough to do, but Grandal's been crushing it. Lurie Garcia, a little bit cheaper. I don't necessarily see anything, unless there's a different Garcia, I don't really see anything that would make me like him, especially on a 13-game slate. Doesn't really hit for much power at all, but can get on, and it does have a 5+ base running grade, so maybe if you're banking on him to steal some bases, sure, go for it. But yeah, I would never argue against Grandal, right? Red Sox are really underrated today. They could break the slate. They could. They are, yeah, they're not getting any respect out of this run total here. Angels at the Astros. Shohei Ohtani taking on Framber Valdez. We do not have confirmed lineups from either team yet. Ohtani's 8,600 on DraftKings, catching a half and half lineup in terms of low strikeouts to medium strikeouts. But one thing that is consistent in this Astros lineup, there's a lot of green in the hit for average and the hit for power. So tough spot for Ohtani. We've seen him falter against some of the higher end teams, the teams like the Yankees, stuff like that. So I don't have the warm and fuzzies on this spot. I would, I guess, be at least interested in some Ohtani if I could get him at a decent equity versus the field. Yo, is that Didi Gregorius in a Yankee garb on StatMuse? I feel like that looks like Didi. Shohei Ohtani, DKP by game log as starting pitcher versus Astros last 5. Let's go last 5 games. I feel like there was a couple games where Ohtani got smacked by the Astros. That didn't come out right. Let's go last 10 games. 10 games just as a starting pitcher. I was trying to get him versus the Astros. So his range of outcomes as a pitcher against neutral matchups. I mean, he's had some good matchups outside of the Blue Jays in his last 5 starts. The Rangers, the Orioles, the Tigers. Rangers again, home against the Rockies. So definitely been on the right side of strength of schedule, but he is Shohei Ohtani. He's pretty decent. Chad, you guys playing any Ohtani here? I feel like my knee-jerk reaction is I'm not that in love with him, and the question is who can we play against him? Home run wise, he has allowed a 1.8 home run per 9 to lefties. Michael Brantley, Yordan Alvarez might get into that. I'm kind of on the fence here. I can see the bottom half of this lineup feeding him some strikeouts. So if he does hold his own in terms of run prevention, that 3.3 xFIP to righties, 3.78 to lefties, yeah, maybe he can get enough strikeouts to walk away with a strikeout per inning. I think 8,600 at least is a price point that gives me a little bit of a soft landing if he does have, one of the max quality starts, the 3 earnings and 6 innings. So maybe I talk myself into some, but I probably have a low cap, 15%. But that's just me kind of being skeptical of the Astros here. I definitely have to run back that 15% with like an Astros stack. I'm just kind of on the fence. I think that's one of those. Definitely put some context to it, right? If I'm making 20 or less lineups, I probably am not going to Ohtani. But at 150, I think it's worth capping at 10-15%. And if he muscles his way to a 20 DKP, that would be a serviceable SB output for DraftKings at least. Fanduel definitely a little harder to click and hang your hat on, but yeah, pushing against him is the obvious Astros bats. Framber Valdez on the bump for the Astros. He's 9,100, just a 20% K rate so far this season to righties, 32% to lefties. This is kind of like the Marlins lineup so far, right? Like maybe his strikeout numbers aren't something that we're in love with, but the team offers a ton of strikeout potential. Fletcher and Phil Gosselin have the lowest K rates on the team. Fletcher, you're better off just pitching the contact to him and seeing what happens. I've seen so many pitchers try to strike him out and end up going 10, 12 pitches for something that's not worth it. Gosselin is close enough to 20% that you'd battle with him. The lineup itself offers enough strikeout potential that I think at 9,100 I'd be on Valdez. I think the Valdez price point makes me remember back to Jordan Montgomery, and I feel like Valdez over Montgomery in a 1v1, right? Just the matchup is much better in terms of potential. And Valdez is more likely to get me 20 plus, it seems like, versus Montgomery's typical output. So I guess Valdez is in play for me for sure. He's making the most out of 80, 90 pitches, getting to 6-7 innings in his last couple starts. So might even be viable on FanDuel to get you that quality start, potentially get you that win. And maybe he gets closer to a strikeout per inning in this spot than the average spot. So I definitely don't mind him as a strike-throwing lefty. Let me get a K-Factory projection. Let's put 90 pitches on Valdez in the K Factory, and what does that give me? 7 strikeouts. So what's his K prop? By the way, chat, PrizePicks.com. This weekend, Patrick Mahomes has a free square click. If you're making any PrizePicks cards this weekend, do not forget to go click Patrick Mahomes over half a passing yard. Between you and me, I haven't projected for well over half a passing yard. So go get that. But let's look at the K props for pitchers tonight and see where Valdez is at. Would 7.5 be? He's at 6.5. So I guess the projection I have being 9. So I'm about a half a strikeout more than their projection. So I guess that's not that's not huge. It's not huge. All right, I was hoping that'd be a little bit lower, but Valdez is a play for sure, and I think he would push Montgomery out of the 9K area for me when I'm getting to that price point. Let's get caught up on chat. Tucker, Altuve, Bregman, Correa, Houston's your favorite stack. Yeah, I can see that. Ohtani does have some falter games, and if he goes down, that bullpen will allow some upside. I think Houston price-wise, priced, I guess, to face Ohtani. There's only, well, I guess they have plenty of 5Ks. They're just not in the top of this lineup. Bregman and Brantley are probably underpriced. Yeah, we'll see what that lineup comes out as. But I can get with you on the Houston stack. Look at the Houston stack on Fanduel. Much more of a value, I think. Bregman at 32, Alvarez is 34. That's a 2K discrepancy between his FanDuel to DraftKings price point. Yuli Gurriel, good God, 29 on FanDuel, 56 on DraftKings. Correa's a little bit of a price discrepancy as well. So yeah, maybe even on FanDuel they become even more lucrative and more of a high upside stack that you can put with Robbie Ray. Mini stacks the key for these big slates, especially for the takedown tournaments. I think I would be careful with absolutes on these bigger slates because 5-man stacks win decently as well. But I think that's something that's going to be like a user preference. I do like the 5-man stacks myself, just because on these bigger slates you do have teams that separate themselves. It's a little bit more likely for one team to drop a touchdown versus like a 5-game slate. But I don't think what you're saying is a bad approach. I think no matter what your style of play is, what your process is, every process has its day in baseball because of the variance. Whether you're into 4-3s, 3-3s, 4Xs, 5X, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know. I definitely not trying to push back your statement, but I want to at least keep people's minds open versus what anything could succeed processually. White Sox lineup came out. We'll put that in a second. Let's move on to the next game. Royals and the Twins. Daniel Lynch taking on Griffin Jacks. We do have confirmed lineups for both the Royals and the Twins. Whit Merrifield, Nikki Lopez, Salvi, Andrew Benintendi, Carlos Santana, Adalberto Mondesi, Michael A. Taylor, Hunter Dozier, and Sebastian. Oh! Okay, I was going to do a bit, and then halfway through I was like, no. And then, okay. Little Sebastian. I don't know. You guys watch Parks and Rec? Would that have stuck? Would I don't know. Lead off Byron Buxton. He's no longer under 3K. He's 5,700. Thank you, DraftKings. Appreciate that. Jorge Polanco, Rob Refsnyder, former Yankee great, Josh Donaldson, Miggy Sano, Brent Rooker, Max Kepler is batting 7th. Yikes. Ryan Jeffers is batting 8th, and then Simba. Andrelton Simmons, batting 9th. You must never go there. See that? That's foul territory. You must never go there. Lynch versus Jacks. Our pitching matchup, 18.5% K rate for Lynch. Against righties, it's going to be a predominantly righty Twins lineup, so we can isolate that split. 313 average allowed, a 124 home run per 9. Would even be curious to wonder if Lynch has faltered even more against righties on the road. Batted ball data says 38% hard contact to righties. That's about league average. A 38.5% fly ball rate, 20+% line drive rate. So, out of curiosity, does his home run per nine rise dramatically on the road against righties? No, it actually goes down on the road. So, interesting. Yeah, so what sticks out here? So the Twins kind of get priced up to where no one's gonna go, like no one's paying 5.8 for Polanco, 5.7 for Bucks, and 5.2 for Donaldson, right? And I think I would. I think those are all guys that are talented. Donaldson 230 plus ISO against lefties since the beginning of last year. We've got a couple of 4 issues on the bomb detector. So I feel like this is the makings of a fun contrarian stack. They come in probably overpriced, but maybe that makes them a fun leverage play. So you can catch me in the streets with some twin stacks. I probably don't have to give up much equity to be above the field, right? Could we see the Twins at 5% or less? Probably. So, yeah, give me some Twins, 5.1 implied run total. That probably doesn't shake the field too much. The Royals, Griffin Jacks, 286 home run per nine to righties, 228 to lefties. There's a guy named Salvador Perez that is on pace for 50-plus homers as a catcher, and I believe he has the highest rating in the bomb detector. He does kind of shares it with Eric Haas, but there's a lot more sample size behind Salvador Perez. So if you are home run hunting, Salvador Perez is up there. And since we're thinking about PrizePicks, it's not just about pitcher props. Does Salvi have a fantasy point score on... He does not. Oh, they knew better. They were like, no. Salvi's number one in the bomb detector. We can't do that. So I would have loved to take Salvador Perez's over on PrizePicks. That would have been a fun parlay to put with the Mahomes over half a yard. But I think this is a game stack for me. I think I'll be on both sides here. They're going to fill out, right? We got to stack somebody. I think both teams have a chance here. Griffin Jackson to the Twins bullpen, chipping a chair for sure. The Royals become an easier stack, just Salvi at 5.8. Everyone else is under 5K, a bunch of 3K, so I can get behind that. Adalberto Mondesi, he also has a pretty decent grade in the bomb detector, 4.32 rating, has a 30+% K rate, but Griffin Jacks will help neutralize that, just a 17% K rate. 2 batters in the left batter's box, a 5.82 xFIP. So give me some Mondesi as well. I like both teams here. I think the Royals are a little bit easier to get because of their prices, but I will be on this game as a stack. Yeah, I know. Anything else, chat? Wow, it got quiet in this Pentecostal church, chat. Chat, where's your pulse at, man? Show me that you are alive. Chat, by the way, promo code Brady. Go to rundfs.com. When you get signed up, if you are Sam Hilliard, even if you're not Sam Hilliard, whatever patch you want to dip into, today only 20% off, coupon code Brady, B-R-A-D-Y. That turns a $30 pass into a $24 pass, and then you go up from there. So 20% off of anything listed there today. We've got some pretty good announcements, some partnerships coming up to make your passes even more valuable coming soon. Let's move on to the next game. Cardinals hosting the Reds. Tyler Mahle taking on John Lester. Cardinals with 4.1 implied run total. The Reds at 4.5. So Mahle's definitely somebody that should project pretty decently going against a mostly righty lineup in the Cardinals. He does have a 24% K rate to righty so far this season. His xFIP has really climbed over 4.2 against righties with a high home run per nine. That might be park induced, and I think it would be fair to look at his home splits versus what he might do on the road, because Busch Stadium will eat a lot of fly balls that might leave the park in Great American Ballpark. And then John Lester's on the bump for the Cardinals, just a 13% K rate to righties, 15% to lefties. So it would be a good spot for the Reds to put the ball in play. And the Reds come in pretty cheap. And this might be trap-like cheap, because I would be invested in all of these guys against John Lester. But nobody traps me as much as John Lester does. So at least be aware that why can't I quit you? That Lester, he just does it. He just does that to me. Let's go pull up Tyler Mahle. And I want to see if we can regress those home run numbers against righties on the road versus at home. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Like we said yesterday, in that last game, Lynch's numbers actually went down. Why did I get that notice for Fangraphs? I'm clearly subscribed. So away versus righties. So we want to go to the second column here. Away versus righties. Home run per nine 0.41, and at home it's 4.18. So absolutely has been something that has been more prevalent at home in Great American Ballpark. His strikeout rate drops too. Maybe the foul ground territory or lack thereof in Great American Ballparks allow him to get to the strikeouts a little bit more. 0.41 homer per nine on the road. So could we get to some Mahle today? I think we could at 9.9. Probably don't have to get too much to be above the field. I think a lot of people at that price range either find the extra money for Ray or go down to a guy like Framber Valdez. A little bit of a better spot. So you can give me some Mahle. I'm not going to be egregious with it. No Lester for me. I will be stacking Reds, but I think it's a product of how cheap the Reds are. I know there's this negative connotation about Reds against lefties, 85 WRC plus. They are below average as a team, but I got to play the matchup here, man. John Lester, he's going to dare you to put the ball in play, and he will allow some homers, a 1.73 homer per nine to righties on the season. India, Nick Castellanos, the two guys that are probably my favorite clicks here. Maybe Eugenio Suarez gets into one. Aristides Aquino also would project well, a 4+ rating in the bomb detector. Not always a lock to be in the lineup, but keep an eye on that. Lester, as of late, as a St. Louis Cardinal, what's his home run rates looking like? 1-1-0-0. So he hasn't allowed more than one homer a game since August 3rd. You see why he trolls me, right? Numbers are this bad, but he just tends to not die. So I'll be on the Reds against maybe my better judgment. I can't not stack against Lester. I just have to do it. If I wanted to pick on Mahle, it would be a power swinging righty, a Paul Goldschmidt, somebody like that. Maybe a Tyler O'Neill. He's got a 4+ rating in the bomb detector, but I'm probably not going to be there on the Cardinals aggressively. Just be like a low shot percentage, if that, you know. Let's get caught up on chat. The Mondesi slot machine is a cornucopia of coins. What up, Coach K? Stacking Red Sox tonight. Let's go. I'm liking the outfield for St. Louis here. So, outfield for St. Louis, what would that be? Dylan Carlson, maybe Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader. Bader's another guy that's not always a lock to make the lineup against a righty, but I think he should. Might get some surprises. Reds are low owned, so it makes their pricing even better. Yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy. I guess that would just like make me feel better, right? If I'm diversifying my personal equity and mass entry, and I feel like 6% Reds, like if it's 6% a number that can be well above the field and still satisfy my fix of stacking it against John Lester, I'll take it. I'm not playing John Lester though. I will concede that the bottom of this Reds lineup strikes out pretty liberally against lefties, but he's not a strikeout guy, so I'm not going to go crazy. Carr's bullpen is really good right now. Yeah, that's what we have. Apparently, the bullpen is above league average in walks, but yeah, there's enough pushback. But I'm not going to not stack against Lester. But it's something that I feel like I can get away with at 5-6%. Hopefully. If I look at ownership projections and they're above 10%, then I gotta rethink it. But I think the price is too soft. At worst, I think I'm at least gonna have a nice chunk of one-offs. India and Castellanos. Castellanos is probably the top guy for me, right? Has to be against lefties since the beginning of last year. Almost a 300 ISO, 990 OPS. It might cost us a national tragedy when he does homer, but it's a good spot for a homer. So I'm there for it, Let's move on to the next game. Rangers at the Athletics. Glenn Otto did it again. I always do this. I typed in Otto's name backwards. There we go. Blackburn on the bump for the Athletics. 4.6 run total for the Athletics, 3.5 for the Rangers. Blackburn is a contact pitcher, high ground ball rate. has had a home run problem so far in small sample to righties. Hasn't had a deep sample size in the majors in the last couple of years, but he is somebody we remember from many, many moons back. And even then, he was a big contact guy. So kind of a weird spot here where the Rangers in a better ballpark, I might be a little bit more curious at clicking some of their names. But for the most part, I think this game is just going to literally exist. Massive ballpark. It's under 60 degrees out there in Oakland, so I'm not expecting much really from both sides. I think Otto was a guy that in the minors I think projected a little bit better for the strikeouts, but I'm not really going to tempt fate against this Athletics team. I mentioned how the Yankees feel like they're backsliding and the Rays are going forward. Well, the Athletics are right there in the hunt as well. So they got to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, and they're supposed to beat the Texas Rangers. In the minors, Glenn Otto, are they going to feed me his actual minor league numbers? They are. So in the minors, Glenn Otto, 26 innings against lefties, 37 strikeouts, 38 innings against righties, 66 strikeouts. So he was a big strikeout guy in the minors, a sub-1 whip with a decent ground out to air out ratio. And this is something that got me in trouble in his last start because he was far too cheap in a softer matchup. Was it the Rockies? Maybe no, it was the Angels. That Angels strikeout lineup. He went out there and got Billy bopped. But I guess he salvaged for 11 plus at 5K. So it's not the worst. He's a strikeout guy. I think I might reserve this for like a late slate take. But at 6,300, I do think his pedigree has 9K upside, but the Athletics aren't a team that I look at to strike out a lot. But I guess in the same sense, neither are the Astros. So maybe 6,300 for Glenn Otto, something I get just a little bit of, a little freaky on a Friday night, because he has massive strikeout potential. But this is a really, really contact team. Josh Harrison, just a 14% K rate. Marte, 16%, 15% on Tony Kemp, 14% on Elvis Andrus. There's a little lane here of 20+%. The 20% isn't like crazy either. It's the 30%ers that really stand out. So I'm kind of on the fence there. I might end up with a little bit of Otto, but that's more of just to diversify my mass multi-entry portfolio a little bit, right? No Blackburn for me, probably 6K. I just don't I want strikeout potential. That's the only reason I'm kind of interested in punting Otto. But I don't really see a hole in his game for me to say I gotta get this guy. Rangers bomb detector ratings. No one's over 4. A couple 3.8s, 3.9s. Adolis Garcia. I'm probably just not there, right? Boo this man. No, bro. If you're not playing Laurel, you're giving away money. It's going to be the play at shortstop. Are you talking about Yanni Hernandez? I'm pretty sure that's who you're talking about. I don't have him in his projected lineup. Do I? Oh, yeah, I got him batting ninth. We'll see if that changes. 264. 20 is cheap enough, sure. Against a contact guy, sure. I don't think that's crazy. You're throwing away money, though. Kate Johnson, let's go. Hot takes, let's go. Padres at the Dodgers, let's go. There's not been a more entertaining series in all of baseball this year than when the Padres and Dodgers get together. It's magic. I love when these teams play. It was last series they went. I think I was 3 a.m. watching that game. Musgrove versus Urias, the pitching matchup here. 3.4 is your run total for the Padres. Dodgers are at 4.2. Yanni, where did you see Laurel? Laurel, bro. Come on. Guys, that reference was way better than you sold it. You don't remember the Yanni Laurel debate? Look it up. Yanni, some people hear Laurel. All right, it's like is the dress blue or gold, you know? Urias is 9,300 on DraftKings. This feels like a spot where I need to make a big boy decision. First off, let's talk about Joe Musgrove. He's 9,600. A couple of strong games out of him in 2 of his last 3. 44 against the Angels. Angels are bad. 25 against the Philadelphia Phillies. And then just a 15 against the Astros. 4 games against the Dodgers, averaging 6 fantasy points per game. In those games, just 2 earned runs, 5 hits, allowed. That makes sense. Oh, 2 starts there, so 9 innings. All right, so I guess maybe something weird happened. Maybe it was one of those, or maybe I think he had a pinch run or something against the Dodgers in that extra inning games. I wonder if that is going against this automated stat. And if so, yeah, I'm not pitching against the Dodgers at home. Not with Musgrove here. I think he's definitely an unpredictable guy. This is important baseball for sure. Padres are clinging for dear life. Urias is a question mark as well. I think the Padres offense, they don't get as much hate as the Yankees, because I guess the Yankees are a little bit more of the front end in terms of people stack them consistently. The Padres offense should be better than what they've been. Is Urias in play? 20 plus DKP in 3 straight games against one of the toughest stretches of games you could really throw at a left-handed pitcher, right? These Padres, the Atlanta Braves, and the San Francisco Giants. So I don't think it's a crazy thought to throw a little bit of Urias in the mix. Not something that's going to give me the warm and fuzzies. I think at the 9K range, I'm leaning Framber Valdez the most because of the matchup. But yeah, man, you get up to pitch against a team like this. A 3-4 xFIP to lefties, 3.68 to righties. Home field advantage, sure. A little bit of Urias. I want to say I'm going to end up with no Musgrove as of now. If the Dodgers threw me like a monkey wrench lineup, maybe that would change from that. But this seems like it's a typical Dodgers-Padres game where scoring is a little bit more of a premium. And the temps are going to be 80 degrees. So it's actually much hotter in LA than I thought it would be versus some of these other games. So I don't know. Chat, is this one of those make a decision games for you, right? Are you just hoping this game exists and no one breaks the slate? Are we cherry picking the talent bats, right? We'll let Fernando Tatis Machado be in the opto. We'll let all the Dodgers. Do we have consorted, tactical full-fledged Dodger stacks against Musgrove? I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think it's really coming down to your warm and fuzzies, your gut feelings. I think I would allow full Dodger stacks, and I don't know that I'm there on full Padre stacks. I think Tatis at 6K, he falls where he falls, but that's an expensive price tag. Machado, the same thing. Don't really want to hang my hat on the rest of this lineup. So maybe I don't get behind some Padres stack, just a little bit of Dodgers and one-offing Padres. Kind of where we're at, right? Jonathan Adams Seager, solo homer, and that's the only run of the game. You think so? It's just a game on the slate, nothing for me. That's fair. We got one game left on the docket. I was not sure, and I'm still not sure, who's pitching for the Mariners. I pulled up DraftKings. They got Marco Gonzalez. Labs didn't have a probable starter. So I guess we'll go forward with the analysis that it would be Marco. He pitched on the 4th, so this would be a 6 game. I guess it would be his turn in the order. But just be advised that it may not be him. But Chad, if someone out there is able to corroborate Marco pitching tonight, let me know. Our pitching matchup, I guess now, would be Mad Bum versus Marco. We do have a confirmed D-backs lineup, so we'll get that punched in. Nick Ahmed, Ketel Marte, Carson Kelly, my favorite catcher against lefties. Christian Walker, Pavin Smith is batting 5th. Andy Young, Josh Rojas, Henry Ramos, and Jake McCarthy is batting 9th. So Carson Kelly, love Carson Kelly. If it is Marco Gonzalez, I would have him as a homer call, especially on Fanduel 2700. He just gets it done against left-handed pitching. I feel like he has probably homered off of Marco Gonzalez this season. Just to isolate his splits here and put an aesthetic to what I'm talking about. And I know there's a debate on whether or not guys are lefty mashers. Carson Kelly hits for power. This season against lefties, 93 at-bats, 8 homers, a triple, and 3 doubles. That's just nuts. Batting 323. The ISO since the beginning of last year, 279 to 974 OPS. I just love me some Carson Kelly against lefties. And Marco Gonzalez, he's going to feed that addiction because he has a 213 homer per nine to righties, a 5.68 xFIP, high fly ball rate. It's huge. It's a big matchup for him, so I like him quite a bit. Also like Ketel Marte. I feel like I called Marte and Kelly against Marco recently, and I feel like they came through. So, yeah, maybe I feel like this is either an alternate universe that I'm dipping from, and we should listen, or this is definitely what happened in their last outing against Marco. So let's look on the what did we say? The fourth. Yeah. So all right, it was true. They homered that game. All right, cool. Marco Gonzalez, you did your thing. That's gonna be a no for me, dog. If he does play, I'm not really that interested. Sub 20% K rate to righties, 20% to lefties. It's gonna be more of a righty lineup. Madbum on the bump for the D-backs here, 8,500. He's got a 19% K rate. Two right-handed hitters, 25% K rate to lefties. I think if I wanted to hunt homers against him, a guy like Mitch Haniger, Ty France kind of stand out to me. Luis Torrens has a 4+ rating on the bottom detector, and so does Tom Murphy, who oftentimes will be pretty high in the bottom detector, and they just end up not in the lineup. So I guess look out for that. But if he does catch the lineup, 3,200, pretty cheap price point for him. 8 homers on the year, a 652 OPS, nothing staggering. But his better split is also against lefties, and Mad Bum does have some batted ball data that would feed some righties, a 40% hard contact rate, 46% fly ball rate. So just kind of what it is. I don't know that I'm full-fledged stacking either team here. If I was, I'd be a little bit more on the D-back side with an emphasis on 1 through 3. And then, whatever else happens. But 1 through 3 would be it for me if Marco is the pitcher here, right? That is it. That is our full slate. So chat, if you guys are out of here, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up before you do. Subscribe if you haven't already. And then join me in the VIP Discord. I'll be in the voice chat up until lock, talking plays and getting lineups ready, my player pool done. If you guys want to take a look at what my player pool ends up, my tiered pitching, that is a tab in the spreadsheet, Guns player pool. And then we will have a similar spreadsheet and similar player pool for football this weekend. Already have projections up there. I'm not leaving just yet. I'm going to stick around, get some more lineups in, and get some thoughts processed if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns. But it might be boring to those of you who don't give a fudge. So let's do that. Let's get some lineups punched in. Chat, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, throw them at me. And let's get some lineups in. So let's go back to that Blue Jays game. We don't have a Blue Jays lineup, but we do have an Orioles lineup. We got Cedric Mullins, Ryan Mountcastle, Austin Hayes, Trey Mancini, Ryan McKenna is batting 5th. Jahmai Jones batting 6th. Kelvin Gutierrez. All right, Austin. Austin Wins is batting 8th, and Richie Martin. So this lineup does tank pretty quickly past Mancini, but I guess the Orioles, it's not like they could do a whole lot. Phillies lineup is out as well. Odubel Herrera, Gene Segura, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Brad Miller is batting 5th. Andrew McCutchen batting 6th. Didi Gregorius and Freddie Galvis. So this lineup actually fills out a lot better than I thought it would. Taking it or picking on Marquez's weaker split, him against lefties, 3.95 xFIP to lefties. We do get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lefties here with McCutchen and Gene Segura and JT Realmuto being the righties. Those are pretty decent righties. So, do we stack some Phillies? Maybe 4-6 implied run total. I might put them in my back pocket on a Friday night. Don't need more than 6-7% probably. We already had the Brewers and Indians lineup. Do we have Yankees and the Mets? We have the Mets. Jonathan VR, Francisco Lindor, Michael Conforto is batting 3rd. So weird. Not weird, but I feel like I would keep the Polar Bear in the 3 spot. Hopefully take advantage of a lefty like Jordan Montgomery, but it is what it is. Jeff McNeil, Kevin Pillar, James McCann. That's your confirmed Mets lineup. Don't have a confirmed Yankees lineup yet. Again, Yankees without a DH. They got to make some decisions. What else we got? Do we have a Red Sox lineup? We do not. We did get a White Sox lineup. So Luis Robert, Yohan Moncada, Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez, Yasmani Grandal, Gavin Sheets, Garcia, Brian Goodwin, batting 8th, Cesar Hernandez, batting 9th. Boom. Astros hosting the Angels. Astros lineup came out. Altuve, Brantley, Bregman, Alvarez. Carlos Correa is batting 5th. Kyle Tucker batting 6th. Aledmus Diaz batting 7th. McCormick and Martin Maldonado. So a little bit of change there. I guess Kyle Tucker got thrown in. Kyle Tucker's 5K. So Astros, other than Brantley and Bregman, Astros do cost you 5K a pop for the big boys. But I think they're very viable. I think Ohtani does have a potential to falter here and there. Did we get a Cardinals lineup? No. We did get a Reds lineup. Jonathan India, Tyler Stevenson, Nick Castellanos, Joey Votto, Eugenio Suarez. Aquino's batting 7th. I do like that. One extra shot. Aristides Aquino, potentially. Jose Barrero and Delino DeShields. So, Reds lineup. Oh, one thing about DeShields is if he got on at bare bones min in front of the pitcher spot, he'd probably take a shot at running against Lester. Lester's been historically way below average at holding base runners, so maybe look for that. But I guess Yadi Molina, historically above average. We'll see if Molina catches tonight. And that was it. No other lineups came out. So we're pretty good on that regard, right? Chat, you got anything for me? What boy says on a Friday night. They put out. Ray's going to have like 20 Ks tonight. Against this lineup, let's give Robbie Ray 100 pitches in the K factory, right? So now that we have an official Orioles lineup, we give him 100 pitches. It's pitched at 7.5, but I think obviously he's in some ridiculous stretch right now, and this is data that's going to stretch out a little bit more. So if you believe in being locked in, yeah, I think he should, or he's likely to continue his pace of 10 plus Ks a game. This little stretch of McKenna, Jones, Gutierrez being 26 to 34% K rates is up there. But Mullins, Austin Hayes, Mancini, Austin Wynns, they don't strike out as much, but definitely, sometimes pitchers are better than hitters, right? Sometimes you just don't think about the matchup, the Max Scherzers, guys like that. And Robbie Ray is knocking on the door of that territory. And the Blue Jays they're a steam train right now. They got momentum. And they know that if they come out here and sweep the Orioles like they probably should, they catch a playoff spot. It essentially comes down to if the Yankees lose tonight and the Blue Jays win, that puts the Blue Jays in the playoffs, I believe. So look out for that. I know that the Yankees are now half a game back from the Red Sox, I believe. So Blue Jays are going to be playing some inspired baseball, and it's borderline playoff. It is playoff implications, so it is what it is. Gone. What up, Solid Picks? Who are the stacks? So I think the Blue Jays have to grade as your number one stack. I would also assume that they're going to be your most owned stack, but the spot is really, really good for them. I personally like the Royals and Twins game as a potential shootout. I think the Rays stack is really, really nice. For a little bit more contrarian tournament stacks, I think the Astros are fun. The Reds, and I like 1 through 3 of the D-backs. So yeah, somebody had asked for 2 pitchers and 3 hitters, right? So 2 pitchers on this slate would be obviously Robbie Ray. I like Framber Valdez if I'm trying to make a floor ceiling thing. Chris Archer's coming in for the Tampa Bay Rays. Is Waka being reduced to opener status now? Archer would piggyback Waka during the game. So maybe you get 3 innings of Waka or something like that into Archer. Archer's been better, but he's still essentially a 2-pitch pitcher, right? Hey, why do we have Taijuan Walker? Is Walker pitching and not Tyler Megill? Or am I tripping? DK has Taijuan Walker as the starting pitcher here, so that might be a little bit of a discrepancy because we came into this game thinking it was Tyler Megill. Labs still shows Tyler Megill, so maybe watch for that. Hopefully we get some clarification on that between now and lock. That would be great. Ian Anderson has a solid matchup. Who would be my number 2 pitcher in this spot? I think I'd stay a little bit safe here. I think I'm going to go Framber Valdez. I love his pitch count. I love the matchup against the Angels. So give me these two guys. And we're going to have 30.2K per bat here. I'm going to go Carson Kelly, assuming that he's going to get Marco Gonzalez. I feel like cheap pop. Not even that cheap at 45, but I feel like there's some pop there. And then how about if we really want some cheap bats, maybe Jordan Luplo is a cheap shot at a homer. First base, outfield eligible. We're throwing him in that outfield spot for now. Who else grades out pretty well for this spot? I can't jam in like Blue Jays and say here, take it, right? Fanduel is confirmed on Megill. All right, you guys see what I'm seeing though, right? For some reason, DK showing me Taijuan Walker. I don't know what that's about. Something to watch, though. Would be a third underpriced bat. Probably Michael Brantley. He doesn't get any respect on his price point. Nikki Lopez might be fun. Nikki Lopez at 3,300. Let's do that. So if you give me these 2 pitchers and these 3 hitters, and then trying to dice up, I guess Carson Kelly would even just be too expensive as a catcher. Just trying to get you 3 value bats, 2 pitchers I dig, and then mix the stacks here. Nikki Lopez has been a guy that gives you a strong shot at fantasy points. Yesterday, he hit a homer for us. A couple of multi-hit games here. I like that game to be a little bit scrappy. I don't know. There's something I would do. Fanduel is confirmed Megill, and DK is confirmed Megill. So that's good. Chat, I'm going to get us out of here. Tomorrow, I will not be streaming on this channel tomorrow. I think I'm going to be on the Awesemo channel tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that's true. Pretty sure it's Saturday and then Sunday's NFL. So tomorrow, look for me on the Awesemo channel before lock. Probably, maybe. I should know this. But follow me on Twitter. I'll tweet it out. So we won't have a live stream here tomorrow. We will have that on the Awesemo channel tomorrow. We will have more NFL content more than likely coming out on this channel. So look for that. I would love to get like a live stream for football. But I also feel like me being by myself for football is not as valuable as it is for baseball. I don't know. It could get boring. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Otherwise, I don't mind just putting up some produced videos, stuff like that. Showdown video, I think Let was a decent video yesterday. I had a good showdown last night, so hopefully you guys found a little bit of value out of the showdown video. The only thing I got wrong was Dak Prescott, but I had Tom Brady instead, and I still managed to do just right. You still have to make stances, so I don't hate the stance. I had decent exposure to all the nuts. So hopefully you guys found some value out of that. Otherwise, I'll be out of here. Live-wise, my next confirmed live stream for this channel is probably Monday. Probably Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. But we will definitely try and have some more stuff for you NFL-wise here. And there is a possibility of a live stream on Saturday night. But don't hold me to that. But at the very least, you can catch me in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. We'll be there all weekend long getting ready for NFL Week 1. So big slate tonight, guys. I hope we absolutely crush it. If you do or do not, let me know on Twitter. Throw me those screenshots. I love seeing those screenshots. I'll try and get the bomb detector up 30-40 minutes before lock. And then after lock today, man, we are focused on the weekend, man. Promo code Brady for today only. Get you 20% off a pass at RunDFS.com. And that'll do it, man. I hope you guys crush it. I appreciate you guys spending a little bit of your day with a little bit of my day. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. Love you guys.